There comes a moment when a man becomes truly dangerous, and that moment is not when he gains more strength, more money, or more influence. It begins when he no longer feels the need to convince anyone to understand him. Most people never lose because of powerful enemies. They lose because they spend their lives searching for approval. They explain themselves to everyone, react to every opinion, and expose their deepest emotions to people who are quietly looking for weaknesses to exploit. The world is not kind to those who constantly seek validation. It rewards those who stay composed while others lose control. This is the first principle of psychological power. Never allow your emotions to move before your strategy does. People rarely judge you by the kindness hidden in your heart. Instead, they respond to the strength they believe you possess. The moment someone notices uncertainty, they begin testing your boundaries. If they sense desperation, they instinctively take control. If they realize you depend on their approval, they know exactly how to manipulate your decisions. That is why emotional discipline is more valuable than emotional expression. Feel every emotion if you must, but never allow those emotions to dictate your actions. Separate your feelings from your choices. Separate your ego from every conflict. Separate your pain from your public image. Real strength is not pretending that nothing hurts. Real strength is choosing what deserves a response and what deserves silence. A man who appears calm is often far more powerful than the man who constantly proves his confidence. Stillness creates uncertainty, and uncertainty creates respect. While others waste energy explaining themselves, the disciplined man remains focused on his purpose. He understands that silence is not emptiness. Silence is control. It forces other people to guess instead of knowing exactly where they stand. And the less predictable you become, the harder it is for anyone to influence your behavior. The second principle is learning to observe before speaking. Most people reveal their true nature long before they openly betray anyone. Unfortunately, very few are paying enough attention to notice. They are too busy talking, defending themselves, or trying to impress others. The wise man studies instead of performing. He notices how people behave when they are frustrated, ignored, or denied what they want. He pays attention to how they treat those who offer them nothing in return. He watches their jealousy, their impatience, their hidden insecurity, and the contradictions between their words and their actions. Information is one of the greatest forms of power, and silence is how you collect it. Manipulative people often seem intelligent, not because they possess extraordinary abilities, but because they spend more time observing than speaking. While everyone else is trying to be noticed, they are quietly gathering information. Once you develop the habit of watching instead of reacting, people begin exposing themselves without realizing it. Their habits become predictable. Their motivations become obvious. Their intentions slowly reveal themselves through repeated patterns. Listen more than you speak. Ask thoughtful questions, then allow silence to do the rest. Many people become uncomfortable with silence and immediately begin revealing far more than they intended. Their fears, ambitions, frustrations, and desires slowly appear without pressure. Understanding human nature is not about controlling people. It is about protecting yourself from being controlled. The more clearly you understand human behavior, the less vulnerable you become to manipulation. From this point forward, train yourself to trust slowly instead of quickly. Observe consistently instead of judging emotionally. Speak carefully instead of endlessly. A man who notices what everyone else ignores is rarely caught by surprise. His strength comes not from physical force, but from awareness. Awareness allows him to recognize danger before it arrives, and opportunities before anyone else notices them. The third principle is mastering your reactions. Every visible emotional reaction gives another person valuable information about you. Anger reveals where your pride lives. Jealousy exposes your insecurity. Desperation exposes your fear of loss. Constant self-defense tells people exactly which buttons they can press to control your behavior. This is why emotional discipline is not weakness, it is protection. A weak man reacts immediately because he feels compelled to defend himself. A disciplined man pauses first. That brief pause changes everything. Within those few seconds, emotion loses its grip and reason takes control. When someone insults you, resist the urge to justify yourself. When someone questions your worth, refuse to chase their approval. When someone attempts to provoke guilt, jealousy, or fear, deny them the satisfaction of watching you lose control. People become cautious around those they cannot easily read. Calmness creates uncertainty, and uncertainty protects your position. Before speaking, think. Before responding, breathe. Before acting, ask yourself whether the response serves your long-term purpose or only satisfies a temporary emotion. Every manipulator depends upon impulsive reactions. Remove the impulse, and you remove their greatest advantage. From today onward, let your silence become intentional rather than fearful. Let your patience become strategy rather than hesitation. Let your composure become your greatest source of strength. The man who governs his own emotions cannot easily be governed by anyone else. The fourth principle is becoming difficult to read. The more people know about your emotional triggers, your fears, and your desires, the easier it becomes for them to influence your decisions. Many people confuse complete openness with honesty, but there is a significant difference. Honesty is living with integrity. Oversharing is giving away information that others may eventually use against you. A disciplined man understands that privacy is protection. He does not announce every goal before it is achieved. He does not reveal every insecurity in search of sympathy. He does not explain every silence or justify every decision. Some things become stronger when they remain unseen. Think about how easily people manipulate someone whose needs are obvious. If they know exactly what you desperately want, they know what to offer and what to withhold. If they know what frightens you most, they know where to apply pressure. If they know what constantly triggers your emotions, they know exactly how to pull you into unnecessary conflict. This is why self-control is more valuable than self-expression. The less predictable your emotional responses become, the less influence others have over your life. A respected man does not become respected because he is loud. He becomes respected because access to him is limited. His attention is valuable because it is not available to everyone. His words carry weight because he speaks with intention rather than impulse. His reputation grows because his actions remain consistent. He allows people to see his discipline, but not every detail of his private battles. He lets results speak where explanations become unnecessary. Modern life constantly encourages exposure. People are expected to share every opinion, every achievement, every disappointment, every relationship, and every emotional struggle. Yet, The strongest foundations are often built in silence. Protect your plans until they become reality. Protect your peace from unnecessary opinions. Protect your personal growth from people who celebrate your dreams only when they benefit from them. Privacy is not secrecy born from fear. Privacy is wisdom born from experience. The fifth principle is freeing yourself from unhealthy attachment. Many people mistake emotional dependence for love, but they are not the same. Love allows both people to grow. Dependence slowly destroys freedom. The moment your happiness becomes completely controlled by another person's attention, approval, or presence, you begin surrendering your own power. You stop making decisions for your future and begin making decisions to avoid losing someone else's acceptance. This is how many capable people slowly lose themselves. They spend sleepless nights waiting for messages that never come. They chase loyalty from those who have repeatedly demonstrated betrayal. They sacrifice their dignity simply to keep someone from walking away. But every time you place another person at the center of your emotional stability, you give them the ability to control your peace without even realizing it. A strong man values relationships deeply, yet he never abandons himself to maintain one. He loves without losing his purpose. He cares without sacrificing his principles. He remains kind without becoming dependent. If someone chooses to leave, he experiences the pain honestly, but he refuses to let that pain define his identity. Self-respect always remains stronger than emotional desperation. Build a life that remains meaningful even when people come and go. Develop routines that continue whether your emotions feel light or heavy. Strengthen your purpose until rejection becomes a lesson instead of a disaster. Create standards that make disrespect easy to recognize and impossible to tolerate. Walking away from unhealthy situations is not cruelty. It is often the highest form of self-respect. The sixth principle is making your mission stronger than your emotions. A man without a meaningful mission becomes vulnerable to every distraction that appears before him. Comfort begins replacing growth. Temporary pleasure begins replacing lasting achievement. Every opinion becomes important because he has nothing greater demanding his attention. Purpose creates protection. It gives direction when emotions become unstable. It reminds you why discipline matters on days when motivation disappears. Those who depend entirely on motivation rarely achieve consistency because emotions constantly change. Some mornings you feel inspired, other mornings you feel exhausted. If your actions depend on your feelings, your future will always remain uncertain. The disciplined man acts because his mission requires action, not because he feels excited in the moment. He continues improving while others wait for perfect conditions. He trains while excuses become louder. He studies while distractions compete for his attention. He invests in long-term growth while others chase immediate comfort. This quiet consistency separates extraordinary people from average ones. Every unnecessary distraction carries a hidden cost. Every hour spent feeding destructive habits delays the person you are capable of becoming. Every relationship that constantly drains your energy steals focus from your goals. Every emotional spiral that repeats without purpose weakens your ability to think clearly. Over time, these small compromises become enormous obstacles. Protect your attention as warmly as you protect your time. Refuse to negotiate with habits that keep you weak. Refuse to entertain thoughts that repeatedly destroy your confidence. Focus is more than productivity. It is defense. It protects your future from the countless distractions competing for your energy every single day. When your mission becomes clear enough, approval loses its importance. Temporary pleasure loses its attraction. Opinions lose their power. You begin moving with quiet confidence because your direction no longer depends on how you feel today. It depends on the future you are determined to build. And the man who continues moving with discipline long after motivation disappears becomes almost impossible to stop. The seventh principle is simple, yet it transforms every area of your life. Never reward disrespect with continued access. Many people believe their greatest strength is endless kindness, but kindness without boundaries eventually becomes permission for others to misuse you. Every time you ignore repeated disrespect, excuse repeated betrayal, or tolerate repeated manipulation, you quietly teach people that your standards can be ignored without consequence. Human behavior follows patterns. What you continue to reward will continue to grow. Your attention is valuable. Your time is valuable. Your loyalty, your energy, your trust, and your presence are not things that should be handed to everyone without conditions. They are privileges that must be earned through mutual respect. When someone repeatedly disturbs your peace, mocks your ambitions, or treats your patience as weakness, the most powerful response is rarely an argument. It is distance. True strength does not require dramatic speeches or emotional confrontations. It requires consistent actions. Instead of announcing every boundary, simply enforce it. Instead of threatening to leave, leave when your standards are repeatedly violated. Instead of demanding respect, remove access from those who refuse to offer it. Silence combined with action often communicates more clearly than endless explanations. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing forgiveness always requires reconnection. Forgiveness may free your heart from resentment, but it does not require reopening doors that repeatedly brought pain into your life. Wisdom remembers patterns. When someone consistently shows you who they are through their actions, believe the pattern, instead of becoming attached to empty promises. A man who protects his peace never feels guilty for protecting it. The eighth principle is learning how to transform pain into wisdom. Pain is unavoidable. Every person experiences disappointment, rejection, betrayal, failure, and loss. The difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people is not the amount of pain they experience. It is what they choose to do with it. Some allow pain to become bitterness, others allow it to become education. Every difficult experience contains information if you are willing to study it honestly. Instead of asking why something happened, ask what it revealed. Which warning signs did you ignore? Which emotional weakness allowed someone too much influence? Which habits kept you trapped in the same cycle? Pain becomes valuable when it changes your judgment instead of hardening your heart. A wiser man does not become cynical toward everyone. He simply becomes more patient before trusting, more disciplined before reacting, and more careful before giving others access to his inner world. Every scar becomes a reminder that growth often arrives disguised as hardship. Do not waste energy trying to prove your transformation to those who doubted you. Quiet progress always speaks louder than emotional revenge. Build yourself privately. Heal privately. Improve privately. Then allow your results to become the only explanation you ever need. The strongest comeback is not making people regret losing you. It is becoming so disciplined that your life no longer depends on whether they notice your success. The ninth principle is creating a reputation that protects you before you ever speak. Long before you enter any room, people already carry expectations about who you are. Those expectations are built through repeated actions, not repeated promises. Every decision you make contributes to the reputation that follows you wherever you go. If people know you constantly break your own standards, they expect inconsistency. If they know you always return after being disrespected, they expect unlimited chances. If they know you react emotionally to every challenge, they expect to influence your emotions whenever they choose. But if your reputation reflects calmness, discipline, reliability, privacy, and self-respect, many conflicts disappear before they even begin. Never waste time announcing that you have changed. Real change introduces itself without words. Consistency creates credibility. Discipline creates trust. Self-respect creates influence. Eventually, your life begins speaking on your behalf. Your actions become stronger than your explanations, and your standards become stronger than your emotions. Guard your reputation carefully, because it becomes one of your greatest forms of protection. Let people know you as someone who remains calm under pressure, keeps promises, respects himself, protects his time, and refuses to negotiate with disrespect. Such a reputation quietly discourages manipulation because people understand your boundaries without needing constant reminders. The final principle is becoming untouchable, not by becoming cold or heartless, but by becoming impossible to control. This is the highest level of emotional freedom. It means insults no longer control your behavior. Rejection no longer destroys your confidence. Loneliness no longer pushes you toward unhealthy relationships. Temporary emotions no longer dictate permanent decisions. An untouchable man understands himself deeply because he understands his own fears, desires, weaknesses, and habits. Other people find it far more difficult to manipulate them. He no longer feels compelled to fight every argument, answer every accusation, or defend himself against every misunderstanding. His energy remains focused on building rather than proving. Power is rarely loud. It exists in the ability to remain calm while others lose control. It appears when discipline overcomes temptation, when wisdom replaces revenge, and when purpose becomes stronger than emotion. Every day offers another opportunity to choose patience over impulse, clarity over confusion, and growth over distraction. Walk through life with quiet confidence. Speak only when your words add value. Observe carefully before placing trust. Protect your peace without apology. Build your future without announcing every step. Allow your work to become your voice, your discipline to become your reputation, and your character to become your greatest strength. Remember, the strongest man is not the one who controls everyone around him. The strongest man is the one who has mastered himself. Once your emotions obey your principles, your attention obeys your purpose, and your actions obey your values, very little in this world can shake your foundation. That is real power. That is lasting confidence. And that is the kind of strength no manipulation, rejection, betrayal, or obstacle can ever take away.